Hi, this is Chinmaya, and this is the C Word Engineer podcast series. I'm the C Word Engineer. So I have an awesome guest with me, Vikas Badiger. He is founder and editor of Faces of Bengaluru, and he was also an HR professional. ನೀವು ಎಚ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್ ಈಗಲೂ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಈಗ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅದೇ ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ದೆ 2019 ವರ್ಗೂ ಮಾಡಿದೆ.
ಲಿಂಕ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ನಿಮ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಹಾ ಅದು ಅದೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ಗೆ HR ಕಿಂತ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಅನ್ಬೋದು. ಏನಕ್ಕಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ವುಡ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ರಾಜಾಜಿನಗರ ಟು ಸರ್ಜಾಪುರ ಟು ಓನ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಟಿಲ್ 2019 ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ ವರ್ಗೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ.
ಸರಿ.
So it was good. I mean, a lot of people have a misconception about what an HR does. So, yeah.
I think we go long back. We worked on a pilot for Metro Saga and unfortunately it got dropped.
Yeah. See, we help such companies, right? We help them decide what not to do. So we are awesome that way. So it's fine. I think I'm glad that someone else picked it up, and the way it has gone viral was really good. So
Yes. Kudos to them. Kudos to the
yeah,
team.
of course.
I mean, users only see that creative part of them, but they are 100% corporate. How things are run in Metro Saga. It was, I mean, a different experience back then.
Yeah, I mean, back then it was different, but again, now, I mean, you, like, an organization or a media outlet will not remain the same way, right? Like, it changes over time. It changes with trends, and that's how media works. So ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವಾಗ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇವಾಗ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is because it's against what we think it is. So ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
No. I mean, they have grown a lot, and
yeah, definitely.
I really appreciate their journey.
At least I think I'm a big fan of work from home videos. What Puneet did was brilliant. I think he took his mono acting skills to the next level. So adantu no, one of my favorites.
I think that slang that he used, I mean, I don't know if it is a slang. I think it's natural to us, but it was so head on and perfect.
Yeah, it naturally comes to him because I am sure he's a fan of Ravichandran as well. A bit of his tongue has come in, if you keenly observe. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಬಂದಿರೋದು, plus ಮೀಸೆನೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, and all these things, small things that are there. Yeah, of course he looks like Ravichandran because of his.
And sorry that we had a lot of scheduling issues before this. I think because my intern was supposed to do this, and she is unfortunately institutionalized.
Okay.
Sorry for that. I mean,
no problem.
I think
how is she now?
It's a very weird story. She came to me last week that she's arranging for her marriage. She's quite young, and I was shocked. I mean, why are you getting married so early? It is, you still have a lot to enjoy in life. And then, like, okay, then I asked her, are you working for this podcast now, or what you are quitting? And she passed me a list of guests that she was working, and she told me she was trying her level best to invite these people to her wedding and at the same time for podcast as well. I saw this list, and I saw ABD, Kohili, Washington. And that whole RCB was in that list, and I asked her, why are you inviting RCB again and again? We are nobody, and they won't come here. Then she told me she was inviting them for her marriage. She was hallucinating, I guess. She thought she was getting married to Padikal.
Okay. Oh, okay. Was that all this was running in a dream? Okay.
I think Padikal liked one of her posts, something. So she was like, went to this conclusion that he is going to marry her.
Okay.
And then I had to call her parents and, tell about her condition.
Okay.
Somehow they had to, institutionalize in some psychiatric ward. I don't know. Let her get well soon.
Yeah, I hope she gets well soon, and I hope she realizes it is possible, but highly unlikely. I think that's the term.
Maybe. Even I was, hallucinating back then. They had to give me horse tranquilizer.
Okay.
I thought I was some, fart man and trying to fly by lighting up my fart.
Oh, nice. that actually can be a superpower. I'm not even kidding, because that
No,
actually
it
exists.
will work in some anime, but not in real
Yeah,
life.
not in real life, but of course, but it exists, right?
Even now, I don't have any substance addiction. So
Okay.
without any substance, I'm hallucinating now, so that my mind will make something up. So.
That's a very good defense mechanism. I'll be very honest. It's a very good defense
No,
mechanism. I'm
no,
not even
no,
kidding.
no. It requires some serious help. Like I had gone on a date with a psychiatrist, and she told
Okay.
me I need some behavioral cognitive therapy, and just then like broke up with me. Let's not meet again.
So that was technically a consultation.
I don't know. It was free though. Okay, I was going through your Faces of Bengaluru. So this Faces of Bengaluru is like it started out as a photo series. I think now it has grown to something more now.
Yeah.
I see the documentation of human lives from the city of Bengaluru.
Yeah.
Basically, there are stories of success, stories of losses, stories of survival, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were an HR professional, and now you have grown into something more. You are helping the humanity with the stories that you share. Is that a growth that you wished for, or it's something that happened organically?
This term is something that I heard from Elon Musk. It's called wishful thinking, right? Like you wish for something and you want everything to be aligned towards it, and you kind of escape reality. It was partly that, I'll be very honest, because I also wanted this to work. This is working, but also not monetarily beneficial as an organization, unless and until you monetize your interviews, you monetize things around that's a huge ethical problem for me, at
Yes.
least for me. I don't know of other people. I'm sure there are other pages that do that, who would take money, or it's just a pet project for them. It's not a mainstream project, but that's the decision I made, and of course I have to live with the consequences, right? So it's something that I didn't plan for, I didn't wish for, like that the growth that happened at FOB was this way. I took it as and when it came. Even with the documentaries that we shot, it was not a planned one. It was when I realized that, okay, this story has not been told,
Okay.
and that's when I decide to take it up. So I think this is something that I want people to read, I want people to listen to. So it's a mixture of that, as well as what people want to read. That's where I think finding the middle ground is.
For me personally, I have been at a very low point of my life, like few months back.
Okay.
And as I was going
Okay.
through the stories there, I felt this
Yeah.
is nothing. What I'm going through is nothing. So there are people who have gone through worse, faced worse, and have bounced back. And they have proven it again, each
Yeah.
and every story, how humankind is very
Yeah.
resilient. And
Yeah.
hope, I guess, and definitely they will make this world a better place.
Definitely. See, I think what one, as much as people might deny, I think internet is an amazing place, and
Yes.
more so social media. Social media is working more than the BBMP to get in bed, to
Yeah.
get in injections.
Yes.
Like if this pandemic had happened, let's say in 1920s, there would have been at least 5 times the deaths that's happening right now.
It has really bridged the gap. I mean, it has brought
Yeah.
it is closer.
Yeah. So, and coming to the question that you asked about how humans have been resilient, I think we all at different level go through problems. See, for you, for an example, of course, it's not a personal attack. Please don't
No, no,
mind.
no.
For you, going on a date is a
Okay.
really big problem.
Yeah.
For me, getting paid for my work is a really big problem.
Yes.
So these are different problems that we face. Anything apart from that is not priority.
Yes. For everyone, their own problem is a huge one. They are not.
Yeah, so I think that's where one question that I ask myself as well, whether this person's story is like, I don't romanticize pain or motivation. I don't do that. Whether their story will resonate with the people is what I ask myself, whoever I'm talking to. And few stories that I think would do well, wouldn't. Few stories that I think wouldn't do well would do really, really well. Like story of Sairam Chat.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good place in Malleshwaram. The chats people have eaten there from the age of 10 to the age of 40. This is the kind of people who go there and eat chat
Mm.
almost every single day. And the fact
Yes.
that no one asked, I mean, I'm sure people would have asked him, but no one asks his story, the person who runs it. I would say bad from our end, because you should be having conversations with someone who you've done business with for these many years, right? At least once.
Yeah.
And when I spoke to him, he said, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಊಟ ಕೊಟ್ರ ಆಯ್ತು, ಚಾಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. That's somewhere I step in and realize that okay, this is someone, I think his story is worth it. And
So who are we to judge this story is good or this is
yeah,
bad? I mean, each story
yeah,
is something that is personal to them. It's
yeah,
their journey, and we are nobody to judge that. And you have,
yeah,
without anything, like you said, without romanticizing the stories. I think that's what we need now, basically, when people are going
yeah,
behind the instant gratification and glory. I think
yeah,
this is what we
yeah.
need, that,
Yeah.
neutrality.
See, that's a decision, right? Like,
Yeah.
as an organization, if I look at it, like I could have easily picked up on trends and made stories around that and gotten a few more followers at that point of time. But that's a decision I made, that, there are people to do that already. I don't want to be in that rat race. If I wanted to do that, I would have opened up a news agency and, made sure it ran well.
Yes.
The idea is to stick to something which not a lot of people will go for, because it's not about competition, but it's about going with my own pace. I don't want to be part of the rat race. Simple as that.
Yeah, let us go back before
Sure.
you started the Faces of Bengaluru. You were also a
Yeah.
photographer. You worked with major directors.
Yeah.
I think you were a photographer in the sets of Chamak.
Chamak, yes.
So I see a growth
Yeah.
curve here.
Yeah.
So from the photography of celebrities and the whole film thing,
Yeah.
you then move on to capture the life itself.
Yeah.
It's not everyone can do after getting a solid paycheck working for a corporate.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. So
Okay.
I think that was a decision I made because, see, I was part of that movie purely because it was Sunny sir and it was, a couple of friends of mine who were writing the movie. Like, it just happened. It was an opportunity that came in and I
Mm.
took it up. But I think technicians on a whole are not exactly celebrated as much as they should be.
Yes, very
And
much.
yeah, and at least here, and that's a really, really sad phase to be in. It has nothing to do with what I've studied or what I work apart from that.
Yeah.
Technicians, like, as much as, in terms of, let's say, development of an app, as much as front end is important, back end is important as well. And why people start with back end is purely because that's what runs the show.
Yeah.
If there's no back end, then there's no front end at all, right? So that's the same way with technicians and actors. Technicians are the back end, like, and you can show it as much pretty as you want, but if your back end is really, like, if you're not treating that well, then it doesn't matter what.
I was in the industry for some time. I was a
Yeah,
VFX supervisor.
yeah,
Again, the work we put in, we were not compensated,
yeah.
and it doesn't give a motive to contribute much.
I mean, you've done all those, but end of the day, you come back here with the purpose to build, right? The purpose to
that,
build, the purpose
that's
to,
what my shrink is saying now.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, not that way, not that, not that way. Most people go with the wrong priorities to the industry. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, you want to do something good in Kannada cinema ಅಂತ ಹೋಗೋದು.
No, mine was nothing like that. I will be very
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ.
frank. No,
No,
I will
I
be
mean, that's
yeah,
why I
I
said
mean that
most of the people.
what you are saying is like, yeah, maybe majority of them.
Yeah, majority of them.
It
See,
makes
but
sense.
yeah, but
But
my
I
point
will tell
is,
about myself.
yeah,
I didn't understand what I was studying in engineering. Seriously,
okay, okay,
I didn't have a clue what I'm doing.
okay,
This was editing and VFX was something. Okay, I was fascinated with, but I
okay,
wasn't into it very seriously.
okay,
Uh, then I met Raghu Wine Store, Raghu
okay,
Gowda.
okay,
That's how the research went on from one video
okay,
to another, and I hold of it.
okay.
Then slowly, once I got out of the engineering college and I worked a job, a very serious
Yeah,
corporate job,
yeah,
I realized, okay, this is tough, man. This environment is toxic. Let
yeah,
me. I have some time. Let
yeah,
me try to pursue this passion. It was
Sure.
very fish reason, not some betterment of film industry or nothing.
Yeah.
But again, maybe that was my downfall. I went there and I saw this is also nothing,
Yeah.
and I came back to the solid paycheck that I was getting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I see. Again, like you try something. Like the whole point is moderation, right? You, as
Yeah,
much as you want your creative side also to grow. It's not only your professional side. And if both are the same, then
yeah,
nothing like it.
yes,
So that's the point. But also, I mean, coming back to the experience side of it at
mm,
Chama, I personally had a brilliant time, to be honest. You understood that I was ill treated. No, it's not about me,
mm,
but most of the technicians there, like, and
yeah,
that's consistent everywhere. I
yes,
wasn't ill treated. It wasn't about me. They paid me well. They paid me enough. I was offered the next movie as well, but then I had different
yeah,
goals with what I wanted to do. What I'm doing here in the movies would hinder that. That's the reason. Just parted ways. That's it. And I'm still in touch with Suni sir that way.
yes.
And both of the writers. Like I'm sure you know Venki.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yari Unknown, the
Yeah,
infamous.
that's not the issue. But again, like on a whole, on a general, that's how it's
Yes.
there. So that's something that I thought was not good.
So coming to the HR
Yeah,
concept,
yeah,
human resource management,
yeah, yeah,
I believed and still I believe that
yeah.
it is basically, trying to decide what I have to feed the cattle so that I will get more milk.
See, it's partially true. I'll not deny that.
I will rub off many audiences, and not in a right way. But I had some very bad relationship with HRs. Maybe it
Yeah,
was intrinsic to me.
yeah.
Nothing, nothing. It wasn't very public. It was something, a battle that was going inside me. Oh,
Okay.
HRs, I hate them.
Yeah,
Sorry to
I
say.
totally understand that. Hey, see, that's totally understandable. I think I'll give you an instance of my first week at an organization. I'll not mention which
Okay.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
First week joining the organization, I was given a particular business. I was part of the recruitment team. So HR has different sides of it, right? Employee relations, recruitment is the first part.
Yes.
Employee relations and business partner is a second.
Yeah.
L&D is the third, and the fourth one is generalist, which take care of your exit interviews, so on and so
Yeah.
forth. And some organizations add in payroll as part of HR, but they're
Mm.
technically not. So these are different sides of HRs. So I was part of the recruitment process. So first week I was given a business, and I had to talk to a few people who were supposed to join the organization but were delayed for different reasons, and I had to speak to them and tell them that, hey, this is the reason it's been delayed. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
This organization is huge, is very big on, if the documentation, if the BGV is cleared, only then the person will be onboarded. It's very different with different organizations. At least
Yeah.
this organization was very big on that, and the
Yeah.
person didn't have a degree certificate.
Yeah.
He only had his PDC, which wasn't clear enough because he it was pretty old already,
Okay.
probably 5 6 years old, and he didn't have his degree certificate.
Okay.
So he one day, like I spoke to him the previous day. Next day he comes to office. He requests to talk to me.
Mm.
I go in and sit and listen to his problems. I understand that, like, he hasn't joined the organization after being selected for 2 months. It was 2 months since they were also waiting for the document, and he also hadn't given it. 2 months is a long time. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I didn't have a job, 2 months is a very long time. And for someone who's desperate to join an organization because of the money, right, it makes you do things. He started getting angry. He said, I'm from Shishadipuram College, don't know who I am, you don't know what all I can do to get this job, so on and so forth. And to an extent where it became a huge, huge fight.
Okay.
I didn't tell him where I was from. Of course, I wouldn't. But fact that he could do that, and then once he goes out, he calls again and he says that he's going to give a complaint
Okay.
at the police station.
Okay.
This was the first week at my organization. But the point is, we are the first point of contact for any candidate
Yes.
who's selected.
Yeah, now when you say this, the hardships you're facing, I mean, I feel bad now because I kind of developed this sick habit where I'm
Yeah.
trying to get revenge against HRs from various companies.
Yeah, I mean that's true. See, I'll also be honest. Like if HRs, what you're telling about candidate experience, I mean that's the term we use. I'll be very honest. It is very ideal in different countries, but in India, because of the scale of people
Yes.
here, it's very tough. I'll tell you. For a business consultant role in probably Europe, in the whole of Europe, I'm talking about.
Okay.
For one role, you
Hmm.
probably would get 300 to 500 applications,
Hmm.
which is okay for the
Yeah.
whole of Europe. In
Okay.
India itself, you get 800 to 900 applications for one
Oh.
business consultant role. All these things come into a factor.
Hmm.
Like you can't just send for every single this one, you can't send a generic response, right? That won't
Yes,
make
yes.
sense.
I have been at this point now, like I get some multiple interview calls now.
Yeah,
So I was at that point where they used to just ghost me out, like we will get
yeah,
back to you, and then nothing from them.
yeah,
So now, just for the sake of getting revenge against this
yeah,
whole HR community, I
yeah,
go to the interview.
yeah,
I spend some time going to the interview,
yeah,
ask them a lot of questions,
yeah,
and then come to that management round. Right? It happens at
yeah,
the end.
yeah.
I
At the
even
end, yeah,
ask, yeah, I even get through that,
yeah.
and then I will tell them I will get back to you. Like I tell
Nice.
them I will get
Yeah,
back to
nice.
you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, we've all done that. See, that's the point of power play, right? Like
Yeah.
if you know how to do that, like, then you'd be sorted. So
Yes. Then I like never call them back or mail
yeah,
them and do not receive their call.
it goes both ways. Like it's not only you would be doing that. It's not only the HRs would be doing that. I'm sure it goes both ways. It's fine. I mean, I'll be honest. It's frustrating from my end as well. That's the con of being a part of corporate job.
Also, I hope none of my HRs or managers hear this podcast.
I hope they do, so they can pick up the feedback and not do anything to you.
Why I have this, very bitter relationship with HR is my first company. They advocated a lot about the mental health and the whole welfarement of the employees.
Yeah,
And then the next week, they release a circular of the performance evaluation. They tell about mental health and everything. And then the next
yeah,
week, they release a circular about evaluation, and
yeah,
then anonymized feedback from your team members.
yeah,
See, if they were open about it, okay, I know this guy is hating me, but
yeah.
why do you want to make it anonymous? Then I will hate
Yeah.
everybody. I can't trust anyone.
See, the fight between businesses are very common. I remember the stand up by Anirban Das Gupta,
Okay.
who where they went out on a team outing. They were like, play Antakshari with the finance team, and he was like, why would I play Antakshari with him? I would rather play WWF because I'd want, when I see them, I'd want to hit them. So that's very common, right?
Just like him, I was waiting for my exit interview to, shout at them. They took a coward way out. They sent me a Google sheet as an
Okay.
exit interview
Okay.
and select from pre-prepared choices. But they were designed in such a way that they are explicitly boring, and I will not
Okay.
go through them and just, tick them blindly. So they can tell the leadership that, yeah, this guy didn't fill it right. So the data is, not usable. So they never got my feedback, and I never got opportunity to shout at them.
That's what I'm trying to tell, right? Like as much as we'd want to change things, the problem with organizations that have moved operations here is they want smooth running of it because we are dependent on the HQ.
Yeah.
Headquarters is somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
we will do is everything to please them. It has nothing to do with westernization. It has nothing to do with if there were companies from Dubai as well, we would do the same because we need them
Yep. I think it is same everywhere. A servant
everywhere.
is
Yeah.
trying to
So
please the owner.
yeah, yeah. So it's more democratized at other countries because the well-being of people is really important because the people are less. So it comes back to the scale of
Hmm.
number of people we have here. Like
You also have a great documentary series coming up that is Kategala Kanive, and
yeah,
the teaser of it was excellent. More than teaser, the story that it was telling, it was heart
yeah.
touching.
The perspective to it was something really important. I mean, I don't know about the execution because I never planned for it.
Okay.
So I don't know how it will be as an end product, but uh, for me, I don't want it to win awards and all that stuff. I want it to, make conversations happen. The whole premise behind this was to talk about why there are no trans photographers, trans videographers, trans producers being anyone behind the camera.
Okay.
Any narrative that's been told about a
Mm.
trans person has been
Yeah.
shot either by a male or a female, more so male photographers.
Even the trans roles that you see in movies
Yeah,
played by men.
front of the screen they have more visibility. I will give that. They
Yes.
have been getting more visibility. I can't say they have more visibility, but behind the scenes, like technicians or at least photographers, from
Mm.
my perspective, none. I don't know anyone. Like
Yeah.
someone recently spoke about a trans photographer, but I can't even remember their name right now, right? But if you
Mm.
ask me photographers from Bangalore, male or female, I can give you names, like at least 10.
Yeah.
The point, the whole premise of this documentary is to make conversations happen about this. Why
Yeah.
aren't there more trans photographers, trans videographers?
Yes.
And why isn't their narrative being told? Why is it only a male or a female's narrative being told?
Yes, that is a serious question, and we
Yeah,
really need to think about it.
that's the whole point that we want to focus on this documentary.
A note to the listeners: please look up Faces of Bengaluru and go to the stories.
Yeah, just check out the documentary. The trailer is on YouTube. If you go and search for Faces of Bengaluru on YouTube, you'll be able to find the documentary trailer. So please watch it.
Yes. So, because I know that this is a time of uncertainty, a lot
Yeah,
of news of death, news of
yeah,
sickness,
yeah,
and lot of helplessness. And
yeah,
at this time, you took some time to be here. Thank you
yeah.
very much.
Thank you so much for doing this. I think this was engaging and refreshing. Probably one of the best podcasts that I've done. I am sure I'll recommend this to a lot more people.